Lori Peanut asks, what would Lori have done if the little guy had had a complete meltdown about the gum? Would you put the camera down and try to talk with him? And then again, Lulu2 says, what do you do if the kids are completely out of control? And Fueza says, when you take the toy like that, what if he had a tantrum?
And that can happen. If he has a tantrum, I'm just going to let him hold it. But typically, if I'm playing with the same toy, I can get him to, and I do that a lot with the toy on top of my camera. So whether it's a bear or a ball or whatever it is, I'm just going to get it and put it right up there. And a lot of times they'll come with little guys or, dinosaur like we talked about yesterday, whatever. And we can find a place. I'll even get them a special chair if I need to. If it's really something that we're having a hard time, we'll find a special place for them so they can watch him get his pictures taken. So he was pretty easy to let go of it, but I, just work with them, and if it's something that's special to them, make it be a part of the session in whatever way you can. And if it's not something that's appropriate to be in the image, then just make it a part of it so that whatever it is watching or helping me, or we'll give it a name, or whatever works.
Great. Carrie from New York and Jose would like to know why you use a silver reflector instead of a white reflector.
People ask me that all the time, and I don't know. I like it is a lot of fill, but I like that, and just for my style, even what you're seeing on the screen is more contrasty than I'm going to end up. Most of my images, the super technical photographer, the guy, they're going to call my images flat. But to me, that is actually what I'm going for, because that's what mom wants. Mom doesn't want a super high contrasty image of her child. We can get more into that when we're photographing seniors or different subjects, but I really like kind of a more just flat, even lighting, and so that provides a really nice fill for the light.
And another little question about how you shoot. Emma Stasko says, do you have your camera set in IO servo when you're photographing the kids moving around?
I don't know what I had it set in today, John. I don't normally, but it is, okay. It is. I actually don't normally. I'm usually just on one shot because it really locks focus a lot better when you're on one shot. So that's what I typically am.
Cool. Oh, we have Arnie has a question.
Do you ever do you shoot tethered all the time, or are you usually
No,
not?
We're just doing that today for Creative Life.
And so do you ever stop and say, because I find a lot of kids, if I'm shooting, want to see, because everybody's so used to looking at instant pictures. Do you ever let them bring them around and go, hey, look, here's what...
I don't. I do with high school seniors. I do if I'm just photographing a single, a person or even a couple, I show them a lot. But with kids, you show them once and they want you to show them every single time. And that's something that I learned a long time ago, when it's, you think it's a fun thing to show them the back of the camera, and then every picture they're running back and forth. So yesterday you saw me do it. But if they ask me to see it, I'll push it so it goes away, and I'll tell them it's broken. I'm sorry. It's it's not there, and you can do that as well by just making the time that the image is on your camera a lot shorter, and that works as well. So whatever it takes to not take their attention away from exactly what's happening.
This is a question that I'm sure a lot of Northwesterners have, since you said that you would usually try to shoot outside no matter the weather. How do you protect your equipment in inclement weather?
The equipment now is so tough and durable, especially if I'm using it. My camera that I had right before this one, and this one is starting to wear on the edges, but it was like silver all the way around the edges because of dropping it and rubbing it against, it was about, in fact, a friend of mine, JB Salee, would look at my camera and he's like, man, if you just did a little bit more of that, this could be like a product. You've got like a silver camera. But it was just so beat up. And I have, lenses that are dented and just beat up. Our lenses, or our equipment nowadays, is durable. And so even when I'm shooting in the rain, I don't really even try to protect it. I'll bring it back and separate it all and let it kind of dry out. But I'm not really that worried about it. Snow, you've got to let it, I'll even go and sit my camera in the car before I go out if I'm doing a snow session, and just let it get used to the weather. because if you're taking it from hot to cold to hot to cold, you're going to get foggy. So just let it get used to the climate, and you should be good to go.
All right, one more question before we move back over to the living room is, do you always crop in camera?
I shoot pretty tight, and so I'm typically cropping in camera. Here, obviously, I'm out of my element, and we've got a few things to consider, but you know, even coming in and looking at the image of Daddy and Xavier, I love that. We don't even really see Xavier's face, but that look on his face is just so precious, and he's gonna love that. So, you know, those types of images I am getting really close on. When it's a fuller length one, like the family images and even the one of both of the kids full length, I'm giving it a little bit more space so that I can crop. But, you know, so I guess yes and no.
We have been talking about the event system, and then this was the host mom. And so this shoot that we just did was separate from the event itself?
It was, and that is not typical.
Okay.
But we ended up, for these purposes, we kind of wanted to do a little bonus family session so that we had a good variety of what we were shooting. And a family session in the studio is going to be different. Usually this would all happen, and then I would have them take a little break, go change clothes, get snacks, whatever, and then we'd start all over. And the only reason I do that is because we're looking to decorate different areas of the home. And I don't want them, you know, I can't sell a large wall grouping in the same outfit for another room. And so I want to talk to Mom about that before she comes. And Lisa did send me 3 different wall images that we showed yesterday. I created 3 different groupings for her. So if this was a real live studio session, then we would do this whole thing again. And I'm going to photograph kids alone, kids together, kids with mom and dad alone. A lot of times I'll go ahead and photograph dad with kids, mom with kids. And mom with kids was the only thing that we didn't get, and I should have done that. But because that helps complete a grouping. A lot of times, you know, if I'm hanging something, even if I've pre-sold something that's 3 images in a grouping, then they see the images that go with that, and we've taken the different outtakes of all those different situations. They have to complete that grouping with just, you know, just the kids, just mom and dad, just, you know, so we can sell more that way by just making sure we photograph every single configuration we can think of. And it helps break up the session a little bit too. I think, you know, it keeps the kids interested when, you know, okay, it's just gonna be Finley, you know, come help me Xavier and let's do this. And even letting mom and dad stay where they are and letting the kids run back and forth a little bit to break it up, just kind of helps the flow of the session.
How many do you do like this at people's homes versus at studio?
Our family sessions are almost all at the studio.
Okay.
I probably do about 10 to 15% of my family sessions in people's homes.
Okay.
Yep,
and,
during the year.
and last question is, when it is the event and you're at the host mom's home, do you ever do that family shoot?
No.
That's completely
No,
separate.
yep, it's completely separate. I do photograph the host mom's kids that day.
Okay.
Typically, I'm asking the mom to either have her kids photograph first or last.
Okay.
I really, not to say that I don't like it, but I don't like having the kids there all day because it's very distracting. When their friends come, they want to stay and play and
True.
you know, hang out with the friends
Right.
instead of coming out to be photographed. And so I'll ask her, you know, let's get them photographed in the beginning, and then they'll go to grandma's house or they'll go to, you know, daycare or whatever. If they're older kids, that's different because they can even help during the day. And I like to have a teenage girl that's there. And so I'll either hire somebody or I'll ask mom if she has somebody. A lot of our moms have somebody that's there almost all the time. So it's just somebody that can be in that playroom with the kids as they come in and out after the sales appointment. They're in there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions from you guys before we get rolling? Yeah, is there any?
Do you ever, so when you were doing the family shoot, I mean, we're sitting here and we're watching everything, and we couldn't see because the kids were behind the reflectors, which is okay, but I was watching the parents, and I got quite a few pictures of the parents. Do you ever have somebody else shooting? Because some of the expressions I grabbed of the parents were priceless. You know, the mom sticking her tongue out at one of the kids. And so is there ever an instance where you might do that?
You know, I don't do that, and I don't shoot with an assistant, but it's a great idea. You know, we're doing a lot of fusion these days, and so those are great things to put into your fusion videos. And I'm actually about to show you one of those. I told you guys on the first day that I did a special session for a client who saw something on Pinterest and wanted me to do something for her that was stepping out of my black and white box. And, you know, and so we did that. And I'm going to show you, but you'll also see the fusion that we do. And we do fusion with a lot of the sessions. We've been doing video with our senior sessions for probably, I would say, 3-4 years now. And just in the last year have started incorporating it into other sessions, including children and birthdays and, you know, different things. And it's just those little snippets of things that happen through the session that just bring so much emotion back, you know, during the order appointment and when they see it again and again. It just keeps tying everything back together. So that would be great for that.
The difference between the moms and the dad was quite a bit different. Mom was very like, hey, and dad was like, oh, just let them be good. It was kind of fun.
That's awesome, yeah. And those things are actually great to, you know, you're observing that and use that when they come back for the order appointment. Talk to them about what you saw and how, you know, dad loves those crazy moments of them being chaotic, and he's going to love seeing it on the wall, you know. So those are tools that you can use just by observing how parents react and how they are with the kids.